there we go. We got a 2022 Porsche 718 Spyder against a 2011 987.2 Porsche Boxster Spyder. Here we're powered by a 4-liter naturally aspirated flat 6, making 414 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. Mated to a 6-speed manual transmission, the car weighs a little bit under 3,200 pounds. Market value right now is about $120,000 to $130,000, although base price MSRP is around $99,000 if you were to buy it new, and then you add all the options and such, which add up, of course, very, very quickly. But of course, think of this as the Boxster version of the Cayman GT4. In terms of mods, we have a Soul over axle pipe and a Cobb tune. Other than that, bone stock. And with that out of the way, getting into the interior, we got these Porsche bucket seats, which of course is an option. Although if I were to get Porsche bucket seats, I would get them tilted back a little bit because otherwise you sit very upright. God, that thing sounds great. We have the top up, just for audio reasons. Damn, that thing is loud. Very purposeful Porsche interior, 3 gauges because we're in the 718, whereas the 911 gets 5. But I like analog gauges, tack right in the center. We're gonna put on sport exhaust. PASM's enabled. We're gonna keep auto blip disabled and turn off traction. There we go. Porsches are so natural, especially the modern ones. Everything is entirely one-to-one. The brakes are so firm, easy to modulate, confidence inspiring. Steering is sharp, front end immediate. We do have electric power steering after the 981, or I should say after the 987, beginning with the 981. Throttle, the throttle response is perfect, immediate and natural. Actually a little bit playful. Getting a bit of rotation with throttle, heel toe, no learning curve. It's exactly what you expect. All right, PASM's good, but a bit firm for this road. So we're gonna keep that disabled now in the softer setting. Long gearing, so we're going to be mostly just in second gear. This is more lively than I recall the last Spyder I drove being. Dude, so quick and willing to change direction, that mid-engine balance. You gotta love it. It keeps the car nimble. You don't have that rear engine feel of the 911, which is more playful and fun and adds a different dynamic, but this is more closer to the direction of being perfectly balanced. 45, 55 front to rear weight distribution, tight polar moment of inertia, which by the way is more important than the front to rear distribution. And And even though we have McPherson strut suspension in all four corners, the way Porsche tunes these, it actually drives better than many double wishbone cars. Like my Amira, as an example. Obviously, the Amira is not trying to compete with this. This is the more hardcore version of a Boxster, a 718 Boxster, right? This is the Spyder, the step up. Woohoo, there we go. Making a bit over 400 horsepower in a car that weighs less than 3,200 pounds. This thing is plenty quick, and it's not a super torquey engine. It rewards you to rev it out. It's not like it's gutless down low. It's no S2000. But that's what I want, a naturally aspirated engine that encourages me to push the car hard and have fun with it. Something that makes me need to downshift and even do a little double clutch into first. And even with the top off, you can feel it's a rigid chassis. No cowl shake. You don't feel unusual amounts of flex or having a lot of squeaks and rattles as you push the car. And with that top-down experience, you're getting something a little bit more, I think a little bit more in the direction of emotional versus a regular GT4 with a car like this. But now it's time to see how she compares to the 987.2 Boxster Spyder. Now it's time for the 2011 987.2 Porsche Boxster Spyder. Now note that we say Boxster Spyder here, but in the new one, it's just a 718 Spyder. The car is making less power. We're powered by a 3.4 liter flat six, making 320 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, mated to, of course, a 6-speed manual transmission, although you can also option it with a PDK. Now, while there is less power, there's also less weight to move. The newer one is weighing sub 3,200. Here, the 987.2 is in the 2,900 range. And that is a significant weight savings over the regular 987.2 Boxster. We actually have 176 pounds weight savings with aluminum deck lid, aluminum doors, 19-inch Spyder wheels, smaller fuel tank, carbon bucket seats, and so on. There are fewer than 900 in North America. And again, the market value is around 55 to 70K. So quite a bit of a saving over that, almost 50% off compared to a 718 Spyder. And in terms of mods, we have AP racing brakes, Soul headers, and Numeric shifter and cables. By the way, I love this double bubble look. It's on all the Spyders. It's how you can tell it's a Spyder. And I think it looks really sharp on the new 718 especially. We got this flap open so you can hear a bit more of the exhaust and induction. Older generation interior. We have Porsche buckets here, also sitting a bit too upright for my preference. But I also feel like I'm sitting a lot higher up, interestingly. Shifter is feeling really good here. I've driven other 987s with the Numeric before. This one feels really dialed in, nice and tight. This thing gets really loud, as you're gonna find out. I'm gonna go to sport mode. PSM off. And exhaust valves open. Holy shit. like the newer car. Inputs are very natural. The steering right off the bat has a little bit of slop. It's an older car and it's a slower ratio. The front end, even with the slower ratio, is not feeling quite as sharp as in the newer car. But we have hydraulic steering here, unlike the E-Pass in the 718. And that gives us quite a bit better steering feel. Although I still prefer that steering just because of how tight and natural and immediate it feels. Oh, lively. Dude, what a howl. Holy shit. This engine is all consuming. Oh, such delicious downshifts. Now the suspension, this feels quite a bit stiffer. We're getting a lot more road texture. Not quite as comfortable of a ride as the 718. Both have quite good body control. I say the newer car has more sophisticated suspension because generally a lighter car, you can have it a slightly softer sprung and maintain the same body control. That's just physics, right? So much feedback through the wheel. A few years ago you could get these for like 40K. Of course, a lot of cars you could get a lot cheaper just a few years ago before the craziness. And I would say you're getting way more than half of the driving enjoyment of a 718 Spyder, but you're certainly losing out on a lot of the refinement, the comfort, even the solidity. Newer Porsches have this solidity that's engineered into them that I would say the brakes here with the AP Racing brakes, you actually have a bit of that, but not quite to the same degree. And the brakes here actually are slightly incongruent with the other inputs because they are so much more solid. The short shifter feels great though, throttle response immediate in both vehicles. Such delicious downshifts. I would say this numeric short shifter definitely improves the 987.2 shift feel because normally I'm not a big fan. So it's trade-offs, right? I would say a more raw and visceral car, at least the way this one is set up, it is so loud in here. You get more feedback through the wheel, you get a stiffer ride. This car beats you up a little bit more, but oftentimes you want that in a sports car. But that 718 gives you this confidence, this reassurance, and a lot of the excitement with added refinement and solidity that, if it was my money, they're both good options. You can't go wrong either way. That 718 is more what I'm looking for though. Big shout out to Yue and Lynn, the owners, for letting me review their Spyders. Big thanks to Fenton Sun from the Zygon YouTube channel for making this review possible. Much love, my friends. If you want your car reviewed, visit us on jabalandcars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage, and I'll see you all in that next one. By the way, love the pull handles too on all Spyders. Sick touch.